Today, we are heading to Romania and FCSB to see if we can win the Champions League, as that's what I'm trying to do on FM26 in every European nation. The last time a Romanian club lifted the Champions League was in the 1980s, but football has changed and the European football landscape has dramatically moved. So now with FCSB using a completely random wheel spin and decided tactic, let's see if we can win the Champions League here on Football Manager 26. And of course, as you can see on screen, we are spinning that wheel and we have got a 4-3-3 attack, which is going to be very fun to implement here at FCSB. And this is the overall club screen, and we've got a couple of standout players, but overall I am very, very excited because as a club they are 7th in terms of most Romanian league wins, but by far the best current club in Romania. So we are looking to carry that on, and I feel like because we're in a nation like Romania, which, let's be real, if we check out the Romanian Superliga, isn't the highest in terms of its reputation. In fact, we have to scroll all the way down, continue to scroll down to 27th place, and so far we have managed to rebuild in Norway and managed to win a competition in Norway in the European stage. I won't say which it is, and you'll have to go and watch that video after this one. And in 9th place, Czechia as well, where we managed Dynamo Zagreb, and in Norway it was Rosenborg. Here with Romanian side FCSB, it's going to be a very difficult and much different challenge to what we've just had. So I'm very glad that we're going to get to build a 4-3-3 attack with this team, which we'll get into in just a few minutes time. But first of all, let's talk about the team, because there's a couple of really good players here, like centre-back Siabogo Ngenza, a South African centre-back. And you guys know I love a South African wonder kid. Now this guy, less of a wonder kid, more of a stalwart of the current team, and looks like a really good centre-back for this level. But you can see clearly this level is not what we've managed him before in this series. In fact, it's quite a bit lower, and it's going to be a very, very tough challenge. I'm not saying impossible, but it's going to be tough. Next best player is Yuri Sitosi, a slightly older, I believe. He's 32, yes. Italian central midfielder, but looks really, really good. And this the sort of player, I think if we can build a squad of players with this kind of ability with a 4-3-3 attack, we have a good chance. Past that, Adrian Sut is a good defence midfielder. And up front, we've got the current Romanian striker, Daniel Buriglea, who I'm going to have as my striker throughout the course of this rebuild, unless he leaves me, because I think we can try and do it with him up top. He's got a good height on him at 6 foot tall. He's got decent enough physical stats, but 16 determination, 12 composure, and 14 finishing. He's going to come in handy a lot. And the registration rules here in Romania mean that we're going to have to use players from the Romanian league and from our team, because you can only have 4 non-EU players, which makes this even harder. Maybe it's going to be impossible, but I'm going to give myself a 5% chance, and we are giving this a 5-season challenge. Now, I know some of you guys have said in the comments, make it 6 seasons with a meta tactic. I believe we've kind of got a meta tactic in the 4-3-3 attack. So the 6th season, I think myself, would be a little bit cheating. If you guys insist on it being 6 seasons rather than 5, let me know in the comments down below. And also get your comments in down below of the next nation we should be heading to. Now, I will very quickly say this save file and the tactic we create today, which is going to be an absolute banger, are all available on the Patreon down below, as well as the scouting guides that we released a couple of weeks ago, which we're going to use throughout the course of this rebuild to build a super team here in Romania. So the Patreon is the best place for you to go to help support me out massively and get loads of quality content. Now, speaking of the 4-3-3 that we've created, this is what it looks like. Now, like I've said, it's a 4-3-3 attack. We are being aggressive, and that is the play here. The difficulty is with a 4-3-3 attack is effectively, if you move this man into here, is it technically not just a 4-2-3-1. So I've got him starting slightly deeper, but playing as an attacking midfielder. So he goes in to this space, and with the 2 wide men being aggressive and attacking as well. In fact, this right-hand side, I know for a fact is about to get changed to an inside forward, so I'll do that very quickly. The 3 up there, very aggressive, and then you've got 2 slightly deeper midfielders. One is a playmaker, one is a central midfielder, and of course, and the aggressive attacking midfielder. Aggressive wing backs bombing on down the line, leaving 2 centre backs at the back to attempt to, really kind of keep things steady. We are an attacking mentality. I feel like, again, it's right. We're using a 4-3-3 attack. We have to go for them. Out of possession, I have moved that cam up into the cam role because rather than playing a central midfielder. That then, to me, looks like a standard 4-3-3. At least up here, I can make him slightly further forward, press further forward, and be more aggressive. So it builds this tactic you see on the screen right now. Like I said, it will be available on the Patreon down below. And there is going to be a lot of different tweaks as we go through the rebuild. And the Patreon file will be the final finished off tactic. I am playing a high line, high press, counter press, aggressive pressing, press, aggressive. Which, to be honest, I don't think is the meta this year. The meta, I actually feel like, is the low block, standing off teams, being really difficult to break down. That's not the play in this save. We are being the aggressor. And to be honest, we have to be. We are the best team in this league. We are the team which are going into the Champions League. We check out the season preview. This has changed. My first time clicking on that since I last there. In fact, the season preview is down bottom right below my face cam, so we'll click on that. Very nice new screen. In fact, CFR Clues are actually the team above us. I did like seeing the odds of who was favourites. That's not there currently, which is probably a bug. But this is actually a very nice screen, which I like a lot. So we're battling up with Cluj, who have got Kurt Zuma as one of their players. University Cracovia are actually, I think, one of the best teams in the league as well as FC Rapid. And of course, us in FCSB. So let's get into this first season. We've had enough rambling and see if we can dominate Romania straight away and see what this team looks like in the Champions League. Or should I say Europa League, because in the final qualifying round, we faced Bodo Glimt and lost 7-1 in the first leg. Now, Bodo Glimt is a team in the Norwegian League, the league we just managed in and dominated with Norway, with Rosenborg, and they've just beat us 7-1. So this shows how far we are off it. And when it comes to the Europa League, of course, it's a competition which I'll be more than happy to win, but it's not a goal of the rebuild. However, we did finish down in 18th place in the league phase. 3 victories, 2 draws, 2 losses, 11 points, and we are going to be going on into the knockout playoff round. We were facing up against Portuguese giants FC Porto, and despite conceding the first goal, scored the second thanks to a goal from former wonder kid Octavian Popescu. And scored the second with a lovely worked goal as Tiam drove down the line, found Miculescu, who is a fantastic right winger, to find Tiam in the box to make it 2-1. But sadly, in the second leg, we got absolutely battered and Samu scored a brace and we lost 3-2. So as a first season, this is where we currently are. A team that can get to the knockouts of Europe, but, you know, it's the Europa League, not the Champions League. Building up to Champions League winners in just 5 years, that's certainly a challenge I am up for. And I am loving these 5-season rebuilds. And thank you so much for the support on these 5-season UCL challenges, because they've been really fun, but so challenging, which has made it like a completely different thing to a normal rebuild. In a normal rebuild, where we rebuild West Ham on the weekend, the whole goal is to make them the best team in the world, win the Champions League, win the Premier League, and the rebuild doesn't end until that point. But there's kind of no jeopardy to it. With these, I really love the jeopardy, and I'm enjoying making these so much. So if you carry on smashing the support, we'll keep uploading one of these every single week in that midweek slot. I think the most surprising thing for me this season is the fact we finished 6th. And I thought we were going to be the best team in this league, which is why I say this tactic will be changing, because currently it is not a very good tactic. Given the team we are, we should not be finishing in 6th place. Now, of course, we were in the championship group. Of course, in Romania, it splits off at the mid-season point. So we go into the champions group after 20 games with 10 games left to play. And we actually played really well. 7 victories, 3 draws, 0 losses. Much better. And did go in to the, the European Places playoff final. We battered Arad 4-1. So we are still going to be in Europe for the next season. No, it won't be the Champions League, but yes, we are still there, which is good, because for finances, that's very important, because money here in Romania is not a lot. We've got £5.5 million in the bank, which it's all right. And we've got 25k to spend on wage, but as I said, compared to other rebuilds, this is by far the most difficult. Financially, there is £11 million overall in the bank, and we are by far not a rich club, but there is fantastic facilities here. So hopefully over the next few seasons, a few of them can come into the first team and dominate. Now, this season, I really wanted to try and get Octavian Popescu to be a standout player for us. And he did get 27 goal contributions, the 23-year-old, but he's not quite as good as I remember. Popescu, I remember for some reason being this wondrous wonder kid that everyone spoke about, and on was FM a wonder kid in like FM 18 or 19, probably not even that, probably 20 or 21, and he was brilliant. And now he's a bit average, bit mid, and he's, you know, probably leaving the club. I'll be completely honest to you. Past that, in terms of our goal scorers, we have got the star man up top. Brigalia was brought into FCSB from CFR Cluj, and this season for us, he's grabbed 29 goals in 35 games, and it's going to be a challenge to keep hold of him. He's wanted by Derby in the Championship, but I'm going to be doing everything I can to keep him at the club. And again, I think that shows the level, the fact he's wanted by Derby that we're currently playing at. Our star man, who just grabbed 41 goals and 11 assists, is a Championship level striker. And then finally, David Michalescu, the Romanian right winger, is extremely well rounded, is 6'3", and got 17 goals and 18 assists this season. So someone that I am certainly looking to build around over the next few seasons, as he's at least got 2 or 3 more years left in him. And then finally, we need to talk about Juri Sisoti, because he's just grabbed 21 assists for us this season. I think it shows what that cam role could do. Now, I've got no idea who this guy is. He's pretty much had his whole career in the second tier of Italy, playing in Malta or playing in Romania. No idea who he is. Obviously no caps for Italy, but he's absolutely brilliant. And this is kind of the reason as well I love playing in these random wacky leagues, because you get to use players and wonder kids that you would never normally use. Which brings us on to our recruitment, and our recruitment focuses. We are specifically looking at Romanian under-21s or European under-21s, because we can only have 4 non-EU players. So we are having a look at South African under-21s, South American under-21s, sorry, but mainly concentrating on, can we find any wonder kids from Romania or the EU? And of course, because it's a 5-season challenge, we're looking into contracts expiring and trying to bring in some older players as well that can be stars. So with the goal of getting back our Romanian league title, we first off turn to young Romanian wonder kids like Vlad Badea, who joins on a free contract. I actually think this was a mistake from me. I think we found him as a youth academy star and I forgot to give him a contract. A 19 determination vote. He looks fantastic. And Laurentu Vretescu, who is a potential right winger for the future as well, with 11 determination and great speed. So them two join us specifically for the future. But for right now, Max Lowe. He's the signing we need. Talk about a Derby player. He's now going to be our superstar. And I actually think Max Lowe could be entirely broken in this league. Fantastic physicals, fantastic crossing, really good defensive stats, and decent enough mentals as well. Is 29, and because he's English, does count as non-EU, but was a free contract, as was Tama Basic, a Croatian midfielder at 29 years of age, who brings a lot of quality into the midfield, as does Elliot Matazo, a £2.2 million signing from, I believe, Hull. Am I correct? I am correct. From Hull, with brilliant stats, insane mentals, great physicals, and decent technicals for £2.2 million. And then finally, for £2.4 million, the glasses man himself, Narcis Ilas, joins us. Did I sign him just because of the picture? You can decide in the comments down below. But this guy looks fantastic. At 19 years of age, same sort of crossing as Max Lowe, unbelievable speed, great determination, decent defending, and he's Romanian. I absolutely love that signing for £2.4 million. So the team now looks a little bit like so. Of course, keeping the front three of Mariescu, Brighton, and for one more season, Octavian Popescu. In the midfield, we have Matazo, Sisoti, and Sut. Obviously, Matazo coming in with Basic as the backup. Max Lowe and Elas make up our new wing-back positions, with another Popescu, who is on the older side at 33, with Ngenza and Maxime in goal. Now, the goalkeeper spot is a position which I am going to be trying something. He is a 19-year-old through the academy with 18 jumping reach and 16 aerial reach. So we're going to see if Alexandru can develop this season, as last season I think he was okay at voluntary. I could be wrong. No, he was. He played 31 games in the second tier and he was okay. So with 5-star potential, I thought it was worth a risk of seeing what this guy could do. And let's be real, last season we finished in 6th. It surely can't get much worse than that. Now, this season, in terms of the season preview, we are 3rd behind Rapid and Cluj. But I believe this great young side can take the centre stage. And that is exactly what we done in emphatic fashion and became champions of Romania with 56 points. And the reason I say with emphatic fashion is we have just scored the most goals with 96 goals in 30 games, scoring over 3 goals a game. And Super Max Low grabbed 29 assists overall with 2 goals. Max Low, what on earth have you just done to the Romanian leagues? Obviously, I'm fully aware that this guy is currently now playing at Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, he was playing for Derby way earlier on in his career. But are we really saying that a guy that did well in the Championship would absolutely dominate the top tier of Romania? Pretty scary that we are in European football as well. Which, by the way, went horrendous this season as well. We did get the knockout playoff rounds of the Conference League, but lost to Olympia. Olympia! I mean, really, after 2 seasons, can we not beat a team from Slovenia? I mean, come on now. We surely should be better than this, but sadly not. And we lose to Olympia, and obviously they don't go on to win it because they're absolutely rubbish. Are they the team I might manage in Slovenia? Yeah, of course. But right now, I'm not the biggest fan. Brighton were the team that went on to win the competition, beating Lille. But sadly, we bow out of the Conference League as well. Now, the good thing is, next season, we'll have another chance at Champions League football, which we're probably not going to win it, but at least we'll be able to be back in the big time, being able to get more players in, being able to increase the reputation of our team and our league, and hopefully by the season 5 point, we could be a big side. Now, once again, Brighton was fantastic, 33 goals, 12 assists. Milescu with 29 goals and 12 assists. And then Denis Poltic, who played a lot more games this season because I didn't lock in Popescu, scored 21 and got 13 assists. Also a Romanian winger, absolutely insane stats. And Sisoti, now at 34 years of age, 19 goals, 12 assists. Absolutely brilliant. We are looking at Luca Ile, who is a young 19-year-old Romanian striker who did get 9 goals and 2 assists for us this season. But of course, the biggest story is the 29 assists of Max Low and the 18 of Narcis Elas in 20 less games, 11 less assists, and he's got 5-star potential. I think the man with glasses could be an absolute king. Now, financially, not being in the Champions League did hurt quite a bit. We have £3.5 million to spend, which does make things a little bit more difficult in the transfer market. So we're going to have to try and be smart. So I'm kind of using this as a bit of a building season and bringing in just 2 players, both Romanian, both of fairly decent age. Reres Ile is my potential centre-back midfielder replacement for Sisoti on a free contract. And past that is Remus Gute, who is a 20-year-old, cost me £1.8 million, just absolutely tore it up last season at FC Volunturi with a 7.41 average rating in the league below. Of course, Romanian, ticks all the boxes in terms of under 21, homegrown, and I think is going to be really, really good for us. That was it in terms of transfers. We made no outgoings whatsoever. A really difficult sort of league to manage in because no one really wants to join, if I'm honest. If we go into player recruitment now and just show you what we're looking at here, even just taking off central midfielders and at the age of 23, and we change this to the highest reputation player which could potentially want to join us, it's going to be 3-star, I would imagine, based off what I've been looking at. Yep, and there's literally 4 of them. One of them's Hysaj, a 33-year-old at Astana. Past that, you're looking at 2.5-star players. And this really is about as good as it gets. So the scouting has been very, very difficult. And to be honest, the scouts we've got, because we're managing in a league like Romania, actually getting scouts which are really good is really, really difficult. Looking into our recruitment team, we've got 1 slot left in terms of our scouts. But I had to go through and bring these guys in. Jesus Vera is literally the best we could get. Someone in South America that knows what he's doing, kind of, to be honest. Nicholas Abdat was another one, completely average, but had really good European knowledge. And then Chief Scout is decent in Bench Galashi at 39. And then John Brown was my next. He only knew England. So really helpful to have joining around as well. Maybe that's why we got Max Low. You never know. Now, can we go back-to-back in Romania? I certainly hope so. And I would like to have an actual league phase in the Champions League here as well. Where once again, we did end up winning in the Champions playoff round, absolutely dominating by 7 clear points. And overall in the league, despite coming down in 4th place, which isn't brilliant, but you compare that when we were also playing Champions League football in the first 8 games, it's to be expected that the start of the season would always be a bit ropey, but would come into form in the end and absolutely dominate, which is exactly what we done. And I've got to say, Daniel Briglia is going from strength to strength with 41 goal contributions this season once again, and surely he must be coming down as a bit of a club legend at this point, with by far his best season yet in average rating, coming here in season number 3. But sadly, once again, it wasn't meant to be in the Champions League as we got knocked out in the final qualifying round by Salzburg. So it's back to the Europa League for us. And I feel like we've definitely bitten off more than we can chew. The Romanian League is, like I said, quite a poorly ranked one, but I thought FCSB would be a decent team to try and do this with. We just finished 25th in the Europa League. There's going to be harder nations than this. So I need to buck my ideas up because we're not having a great time so far on the European stage, it's got to be said. But the big bonus is we've got money. We've got £12.5 million to spend and £30,000 in the wage budget, and we're back in the Champions League next season, and financially, finally, we're actually starting to build a little bit of money, and that obviously helps us put money into wage budgets and bring in better signings. And well, one of them better signings has just absolutely smashed it in our first game of the season, a 4-0 victory over Rapid. No, your eyes do not deceive you. Adama Traore, the former Barcelona man, the quickest player and the strongest player in world football, is here at FCSB. And the best thing is, he was completely free. Joining us from Brest in France, he only has pace, strength, dribbling and flair. Don't let him pass, don't let him shoot. Unless it's Football Manager, because pace and dribbling are the most meta things possible. And of course, we are going fully meta. So Adama, welcome to Romania. Past that, we spent £1.6 million on Mihai Paun, who could be a future wonder kid. 3.9 on Nikolai Rus, who is certainly a future wonder kid. And even for next season, could take Brigalia's starting spot. And then Andres Casterin joins us, the Spanish centre-back, for £500,000. Now, it is worth mentioning this man, the guy we signed for free in season number 1, Lorenzo Vrisescu, who was from our academy that I forgot to give a contract to, is absolutely brilliant. And signing Adama does block his path. But he's only 17, and I've only got 2 seasons left to really make this work. So Adama was a last-minute signing on a free contract, which might be a bit stupid, but I absolutely love it. I mean, look at this for a graph. Bang on the speed, bang on the physical, just don't let him do anything else. And to be honest, at 32 years of age, I just want him to run at people and make them scared. I'm very excited for what Adama could actually do in this league. I think he could break the game, to be honest. We could see 50 goals from Adama Traore as an inverted winger. I'm not even joking when I say that. Rest of the team, absolutely in love. I think it is absolutely fantastic. And I do think there's a chance that maybe we don't win the Champions League, but we do, by next season, at least be able to get to the quarterfinals, because we've built a really good young team here. If you look into the first team, bunch of players at 19. Yes, there's a couple of older players in there, but in terms of the backup, say looking into next season, 17, 21 with 5-star potential in the reserves here. There's a bunch of 5-star potential players. I do think there's a chance that by the middle of next season, there's a chance we could compete with teams like, I don't know, Roma. Are they in the Champions League? Maybe not, but Monaco, Marseille, Spurs, I mean, they're rubbish. We could compete with them potentially. Inter Milan, maybe. Real Madrid, probably not. But yeah, I believe this team will be nearly there when it comes to middle of next season, which is where we're looking to aim our sights for. And let's be real, if we can get another season out of Adama Traore like he's just had this season, well, we could have a chance of winning the whole thing, because he's basically prime Messi. He's just grabbed 40 goal contributions at 33 years of age from the right wing spot. And he only played 45 games. So Adama Traore, I mean, he is going down because he's old. Please give me one more season. But if not, I'm quite confident that Vrodescu next season could be just as good, because he has also got outrageous speed. And for sure, we've got one more season of Daniel Bragalia putting up stupid numbers as he matches his goal scoring record of 29 goals this season in 32 games. What an absolute joke this man is. We, of course, end up winning the Romanian First Division for the third time in a row. And the best bit is the highest average rating, Adama Traore. Now, when it comes to the Champions League, we certainly didn't win it this season, but we did give a fantastic account of ourselves. As we look into the league phase, we finished in 21st place, above winners of the whole Champions League, Barcelona. So technically, we're better than Barcelona based on the league position, and really they should just give the trophy to us. But if they're not going to do that, we'll probably take the biggest battering in knockout playoff round history as we lose 12-5 and 9-4 in the second leg against Marseille. A big loss, but we got to the knockout playoff round of the Champions League with a team from Romania in 4 seasons. It's not bad going. And we now need to turn this team with £35 million and £180,000 in wage budget into Champions League winners. Now, is it going to be possible? I've got no idea. But if you guys have enjoyed, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Like I said, we've had some great signings and some of our players have been brilliant. Some of them not so much. Assist-wise, they've been pretty decent. I mean, Rares Ile has been really good as a signing. And, you know, Iona Surcel done well at right back this season, considering the other guy left us. He went off to Saudi for £7.5 million and now has a value of 35 million. But if you guys are looking for a really cheap young right back with good potential, look at Narcis Elas. He has glasses and he's absolutely brilliant. So finally, with our big financial kitty of £35 million, what can we do by rebuilding the squad and attempting to win the Champions League in the 5th and final season? So of course, we have gone big on improving this team as much as I can in Romania, and that means £3.1 million on Japanese goalkeeper Zion Suzuki joining the club after being relegated with Parma. He joins us for an absolute bargain fee. £1.2 million goes on Stefano Di Mario, who is an Italian wing-back who has got good crossing, good speed, and looks better than Max Lowe. And Max Lowe is apparently a cheat code. And then we've got Timon Girek here, who is a backup left-back, simply just coming in to be the rotation option. There is 2 more signings coming in. The number 1 signing is Andres Schaefer, who is a fantastic midfielder to pick up on a free agent contract. And finally, it's Nazim Benchatia, who is the backup right-back with strong determination, elite speed, good crossing, and decent defensive stats, building out this team and this final tactic. Now, of course, we've won 3 titles on the bounce, and the best we've done in the Champions League is the knockout playoff round. But with these extra changes, can we prove to everyone that this current team that you see on screen right now is good enough to win the Champions League? Well, who's surprised that we make it 4 in a row? Because I am certainly not, with the signings that we went ahead and made, winning the league once again in the Champions playoff group on level points with FC Rapid, by beating them by goal difference and winning the overall league as well on 58 points, despite losing the final day of the season. So regardless, what we have done is make FCSB the best team in Romania by quite some distance and get a dominant spell back with this great club. And of course, in doing that, we have birthed a club legend in Daniel Bragalia, who now at 30 years of age is dropping in games slightly, he is dropping in goals slightly. But if you're looking for a championship level striker, or someone if you're managing in a smaller European nation to come in and bag a lot of goals, Daniel is certainly your guy. He has been outrageous throughout this season. And past that, a cheat code is certainly Adama Traore. If you're managing in like season 1 or season 2, not season 5 where he is now retiring and lost all his pace, Adama is an absolute joke, because even with these stats, with that pace, he got 19 goals overall, including 8 in the Champions League. And another guy which I really enjoyed using was Rares Ile. He was a free agent signing from Nice. In real life, he was on loan at Empoli. Free agent signing who came here and was fantastic in that central midfield role, of course, replacing the 34-year-old, I can't quite remember his name. I recorded the other bit about 3 hours ago, and I've got the memory of a sieve. So I can't remember his name, but he was also brilliant. But I really enjoyed having Ile in there, and Remes Gutier as well, a really good signing. Overall, though, the squads, we never really managed to get it to that next level, and that will have quite a big part to play in the rating system that we give, because of course we do give ratings for every league we manage in, because the whole point is that we find the best league to manage in on Football Manager. Now, it has to be said, I am impressed by the fact that we have got out of the Champions League phase once again, finishing in 21st place with 4 victories and 4 losses and a 0 goal difference. So doing pretty well considering. And thanks to that man, Adama Traore, we had a pretty memorable knockout playoff round victory over Inter Milan. Not only did we win the first leg 1-0, but we actually got through as we managed to draw 2-2 away from home at the San Siro, and we even had more possession. FCSB, well, we managed to beat Inter, and we're now going to the round of 16, where we were drawn up against last season's champions, Barcelona, and this game was never going to be easy, especially when we went 1-0 down thanks to a goal from Ferran Torres. But one thing we had learned is this club never wanted to give up. And Adama Traore was someone to never give up on. He wanted to prove to his old club that even in his final retiring year, he was still an absolute baller. So he scored to make the game 1-1, and late on into the game, Verestiuk managed to get a deflected goal to give us a 2-1 lead heading back to the Nou Camp. Now, this was set up to surely be impossible. Well, that's at least what I thought, until just 6 minutes on the clock, we made it 1-0. And if we fast forward on into the second half, Roos managed to beat the Barcelona defence, had 6 men around him, beat another, managed to get a ball into the box, and Guteo scored to give us the 3-goal advantage. So despite Barcelona being a top-tier side and scoring in the 86th minute, we were going on to the quarterfinals, which I believe matches up the best we've done in one of these 5-season challenges. So despite it being a slog in Romania and by far being the worst league, we've actually managed to match our best yet. But the realisation that we were not good enough to win the Champions League quickly came as Villarreal beat us 5-1 in the first leg of the quarterfinals. And in the second leg, we lost 2-1, so 7-2 on aggregate, which is a huge, huge shame because I feel like we've done pretty damn well to get to this point. And Villarreal, managed by Roberto De Zerbi, are actually the 3rd best team in the first division, 19 points below Barcelona. So we've just knocked out them, and then we lose to 3rd place pretty embarrassingly, which is appalling, to be honest. And I would have hoped to at least got to a semi-finals of the Champions League where it would have been AC Milan. I would have fancied our chances in that game because, well, AC Milan aren't exactly the best team in the world, and they're facing Manchester City in the final. In a one-game battle, you never know what could happen. So really, there was a chance this season, but sadly, it will not be coming to FCSB, and our wait to win a Champions League in a smaller nation goes on. Now, this season as well did come with some heartbreak. We lost 2 players in our team this year in January. Number 1 was the goalkeeper we signed in Zion Suzuki. He had a release clause in there of £5.5 million. It was the only way he would join us because obviously he's way too good for us, and he was doing pretty well, and Al Nassr picked up for £5.5 million. And then Elliot Matazo as well went to Saudi also, where he has been absolutely fantastic, and is now worth £14 million. So we did also lose 2 star players. Would they have made a difference in a 7-2 game? Probably not, let's be completely honest. But overall, we can hold ourselves proud of how we've done here in Romania. Now it's time to rank ourselves on the enjoyment, the challenge, the youth, and the uniqueness, and the UCL win. Now enjoyment, I would have to say Romania was actually in around a 6. I found because the league was quite some way off the sort of ones we just managed in, it wasn't anywhere near as fun. That did make the challenge around a 9. To be honest, it made it very difficult to even see anything in the Champions League. And the ability to bring through youth, I would actually give as a 7. There was a lots of different youth players which come up through the first team, which is quite exciting. In terms of unique challenge, I would probably give it a 6. It was okay. It was pretty standard European rules in terms of like homegrown nation, etc. And the UCL win, well, no, we didn't win the UCL. We delete that. and there's no UCL win to come to our name. So that has been rebuilding FCSB and attempting to win the Champions League in Romania. We failed this time around, but let me know what you guys want me to head next up in our European road trip, where maybe we can win the Champions League next time up. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.